So I hope all of you are staying safe and are connected with your families. I know it's a really difficult time.
But this is a good idea.
I think we're now live in Mozilla. I've just checked there.
What? Sorry? Couldn't hear you.
We are now live by the looks of it in Mozilla.
Oh, okay. Hi, Paul. It's good to see you as well.
Yeah, I've just commuted from my sofa where I've been working all day. I'm keeping the two separate.
Good to see you again, Paul.
Yes, hi. No, I've got my personal laptop on the table over here. I've got the work laptop set up on the sofa, and the timing was just such. I thought, could I make it for the SUMO meeting? And I thought, let's give it a try. So apologies, I'm a bit blacked out. It's yeah, I'll move it around next time so it's a little bit easier to see me. My apartment is very sunny, and even with the blinds closed, an awful lot of light comes in.
Well, that's cool. My place is super dark. I have to light everything up to see my face.
Yeah. But no, aside from that, no, I'm doing okay. Yeah, it's interesting in the UK right now. We've got very quiet streets. Everything's very quiet everywhere.
Yeah.
And in a weird kind of way, it's almost quite nice. But yeah, I certainly haven't left my apartment in a few days, and I think I might be in either tomorrow or the day after. While I'm working from home, I still need to go into the office occasionally for something, and so I'll try to combine lots of things into one trip, so I'm not going in and out. So it's sort of food and office and everything else.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
Yeah.
I suppose everyone knows the feeling right now. I think almost everywhere in the world is like that, unfortunately. I don't know if Sean, do you think we can start? Because I suppose we are not having too much time if we don't start at the moment. If the recording is working, I can just tell people to go and catch up later if it's not possible to stream it at the moment or if it has problems.
Somebody's got a hum. Whoever's got the hum, please mute.
Okay. Sean gave it the green light, so we can start. Hi everyone, nice to see all these faces in this call, and nice to see you all, and who is listening to us always. We are here with a lot of people, but most importantly with Matt Grimes. Hi Matt, thank you for coming on the call. And you're gonna present in a bit. First, just to jump in the feeling of the community, we just want to. I just want to give a shout out to Alice Wyman. In the late few days, she's been she has always been super, but in the last few days, she's been amazing. She's been catching up with me with every post I've been posting on the forum. She's commenting and she's always coming back to me. So personally, I want to thank Alice Wyman from the depth of my heart. And yeah, that was my shout out. Please remember, do some shout out on the weekly call. I think they're really important. And even if it's only just to say, oh, I heard from these fellow contributors that I don't know. And I just want to say hi, and I just want I missed him or I missed her. That's a cool way, to do a shout out and to remember that we always have to talk with each other, let's say. I also want to welcome Melissa. She's a new joiner. She seems really excited, so please go and say hi to her. She posted something on the forum. I already replied to her that if she needs some guidance, she can contact me. But also please like go and say hi. It's always like a good thing to do with new people. Passing on to product update, I think it's we can kick off with Matt. So if you want to like give a little bit of introduction of Firefox Better Web, and then I have a question for you, and then a lot of these people on the call are going to make you questions, I think. So yeah.
Yeah, so first off, I just want to say thank you for having me. I don't know if you all knew this, but I actually started out in the SUMO community as well. And then I was a actual member of the SUMO team for a long time. So for me, this is like coming home. It's like a homecoming party for me. So thanks for inviting me back. It's great to see a bunch of familiar faces. It's also great to see a bunch of new faces that maybe I haven't met in the past. So introduction, I'm Matt Grimes. I'm the head of Firefox product innovation. So my job is to do broad exploratory pre-roadmap research. So what things should we be doing 6 months, maybe a year from now, things that we aren't even thinking about yet, new products, features, services, or enhancements to our core within the Firefox browser. Yesterday, we launched a product called Firefox Better Web with our partner Scroll. So the whole goal of the Firefox Better Web initiative is to identify like what are the big broken pieces of the web, and then what can we as Mozilla do. So one of the things that we've talked a lot about over the last couple of years is the current monetization strategies on the web. So right now, the web basically works, it runs on advertising. So the only way a publisher can make money for the articles that they're writing is to put ads on their website, and you as a user, you're trading your attention span, you're trading your personal data, you're trading your interests. All of these things are being tracked, and that's the payment that you're giving to those publishers for the content that you're consuming. The sad part is the ads ecosystem is actually not that good for publishers. It's actually way more beneficial for the big ad networks than it is for publishers. And then obviously, like, it creates a really hostile experience for users as well. Like nobody loves seeing ads everywhere. So we started thinking about, what are some things that we can do to counteract this? So obviously, privacy and security is something that's very important to us at Mozilla. And that's kind of where the enhanced tracking protection initiative started. We said, what if there was something that we could do to stop all of the tracking around the web, so that keeps you safer, it keeps people from building these profiles about you. And we actually made a lot of progress there, and there's been a ton of really good work. We're continuing down that path as well, like we're continuing to enhance ETP. But the challenge with ETP is, even though it's protecting the user and it's making the user experience better, it actually has had some negative impact on publishers, which is a bummer. We know that. But it also, it doesn't address the actual problem. So it's more of a reactive play from us. It's not a proactive solution for how do we actually just fix the overall problem, as opposed to constantly playing defense. So we've been looking around at there's a lot of different proposals for how to tackle this big, scary problem on the web. And one of the really, really interesting ones was this small startup called Scroll. So Scroll has partnered with the top publishers on the web in the US. And they have a system set up where you pay for a subscription. It's like $5 a month. And then when you browse the web, if you land on one of their publisher websites, they don't show you any ads at all. And then Scroll pays the publishers directly, and they actually pay them based on time spent. And that's really, really valuable. Like, I want to make sure I call that out specifically. So most publishers, most ad networks, you get paid based on clicks, and that creates perverse incentives to create clickbait and terrible content and just mass produce things so that you get more clicks, you get more eyeballs. With this model, it encourages publishers to create really compelling content, because the longer you spend reading an article, the more money that individual publisher is going to make, right? So Scroll was interested in talking to us. We set up some time with them almost 2 years ago. And we started saying like, hey, we think this model is really interesting. Is there something you'd like to do maybe to work with us? So we spent the last couple of years doing these really, really small scale tests. Like, the thing I can't stress enough is like, this is the big problem on the web. If we can solve this, like I could retire and feel good about what I've done with my life and say I never have to achieve anything else. Like, this is the big ball of wax on the web. And so we don't want to rush into this. Like, we want to make sure that we are super, super confident that we have both nailed the user experience and that we've also solved this for publishers so that the economy of the web is sustainable. So we've been moving really slowly. We've been doing these really cheap tests. We've been doing a bunch of user testing. We've been talking to users all along. So most of last year, all that stuff was kind of under the radar. So we didn't want to bias the results by talking about it too much. But the outcome of those tests was, one, users are distracted by ads. They actually see ads as a breakage of the web. So we were doing a web compat breakage study to find out if enhanced tracking protection was breaking websites. When people see ads, they actually are more likely to describe the website as being broken because they see that as like a fundamental flaw of the web. So that was really interesting. The other thing is a lot of people actually do care. Like when you explain it to them that the web runs on ad revenue, and even though you could install an ad blocker and just block all ads, that actually hurts publishers. And if everybody in the world just turned on an ad blocker, then you would lose access to all of that amazing content because publishers would all lose their jobs. And we don't want that. And it turns out quite a few people cared about that. And then the last thing was that people actually really care about Mozilla as well. So they think that we are in a position to help change this economy, to have some sort of an influence on the economy of the web. And if it's something that helps support our cause, people are willing to get behind that as well. So that gets us to where we are today and the product that we launched yesterday. So Firefox Better Web with Scroll is it's a subscription service, and when you sign up, you get access to all of the Scroll publisher sites. You get ad-free experiences there. And on Firefox Desktop, you also get an extension that enables a custom version of enhanced tracking protection. So you basically get the experience that you would get, if you installed one of the ad blockers that's out there. But here, you're supporting publishers. So all of the publishers that are signed to the Scroll subscription network, you're supporting them. But then you're also getting all sorts of performance gains as well. So trackers actually have a pretty significant performance hit. So blocking those, you get performance gains. Even better on the websites that are part of the Scroll network, they don't even load the ads because they know that you're part of the network. So we're not blocking them from like a third-party standpoint. So there's less chance of actual web breakage as well, right? And then the very last thing is, obviously with this custom version of ETP, we're also increasing your privacy overall. So looking at those three things, the challenge with monetization, the challenge of people's information being stolen, traded, and sold online, and then just general web performance, we're actually hitting all three of those with this Better Web initiative. And so that's the goal is what are the big challenges on the web and what can we do as Mozilla to make them better? So this is still just a very, very early test, like I said. The reason that we're charging money for this is because that's the only way this model works, right? So right now you trade your attention and your data for content, but publishers still need to make money. So we're trying to find out, are people willing to say, my data is more important to me, I want to hold on to that. So instead, I'm going to pay publishers directly. That's the big question that we're trying to answer with this project. I think I'll pause there, and if people have questions, we can start jumping into those.
We had a question from Paul in the post I published on the forum, so maybe he wants to vocalize that, Paul?
Yeah. Yeah, hi, Matt. It's just obviously this is a content proposition, and Mozilla has got Pocket, which is our content brand, if you like, our content service. How does Better Web with Scroll fit alongside alongside Pocket in the product portfolio that we've got at Mozilla?
Yeah, totally. That's an awesome question. So Nate and Matt from Pocket have actually been stakeholders in this project from the very beginning. And they're really, really interested in the results as well. At this point, we're trying to not distract Pocket from all the awesome stuff that they're working on by dumping this effort on them as well. So my team kind of specializes in these like early exploratory nebulous projects. Obviously, like the long-term goal would be if this becomes, really successful, and it turns out that this is something that we can do to try to change the way the web works, that it would have, full integrations into Pocket. It would have full integrations into core Firefox, that we'd expand the network so that you would then get the same experience on Android and iOS, and even outside of the Firefox browser. Like, it would be amazing if we could offer this same experience in Chrome and IE as well. Like, it's about making the web better. But until we can prove out that that is something worth us investing in, like full scale, we don't want to distract or burden the other groups with trying to figure out, like, okay, what does an integration look like when they don't even know if the product is going to be something that we do full scale. So it's something that we are thinking about for the future, but we're also just kind of keeping them separate right now, just to make it easier for us to get stuff done. Does that answer your question, Paul?
It does. No, thank you very much. And if nobody minds, a quick sort of second question on a slightly different note that I thought of. This is mainly looking at desktop Firefox. Is there any thought about doing this or something equivalent for mobile Firefox at a later date?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you sign up for the existing version, you get best experience on Firefox desktop because you also get the extension as well. But you get the ad-free experience that also pays publishers on every device. So not just in Firefox mobile, but even if you're using, like Chrome mobile, you would still actually benefit from that. Because again, this project is about making the web a better place in general, right? Even if you're not using Firefox. The commitment to build out all of those additional pieces to make it so that you get that same pristine experience that you're getting from Firefox desktop on all of those other platforms, that's a pretty heavy lift. And so we're starting with Firefox desktop, again, to make sure, like, is this actually something that users want? Is this the thing people care about before we invest in then taking it to all of those other platforms?
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Does anyone has any follow-up question for Matt, or anything that if you don't want to vocalize, I can read it as you wish. In the meantime, I want to add that, as Kiki said in the post on the forum, we are not gonna have like a specific SUMO forum for this product. Some of the people using this could reach out in the desktop forum, but we are we can refer them the Scroll website since we're not being able to support that. So yeah, and if this clarifies a little bit our position on this, I think this is like an amazing tool that I hope is gonna get out of the US soon, because I think there are countries that need this even more than the US needs them. A lot of countries are in need of like good website that don't steal your data, or that's one. At least Italy knows that pretty well. Coming from there, I know that. So yeah, if no one else has questions, I think I can say that I can reach out to Matt, I hope anytime, to ask him any follow-up about this. And like, if you have any question, as always, reach out to me or Kiki via email. We're gonna reach out to Matt, or we're gonna maybe ask him if he can follow up under the post that Kiki made on the forum with some of the answers to your questions, if you have them. So thank you a lot, Matt, for this. If you want to stay along for a couple of the updates, we are still going through until 6:30, or if you want to leave and stay higher in the community.
See you.
Don't mind, I'll stick around. I mean, you know, like I said, I appreciate you all having me.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, then I think Roland, if you want to add something on Firefox 74 now, a little bit of issues or some updates on that.
Yeah, we have a small number of users, 15 reports, which may be like 150 people out of millions who can't see Twitter or Gmail, weather.com. We have a workaround, refresh Firefox, or if you're more technical, recreate your storage folder, or you can, for the sites that are affected, you can clear your cache and your site data. But other than that, it's been a pretty slow release in terms of questions. For the first 2 weeks, it looks like the number of questions are lower, because I guess I would actually think it'd be higher because more people are working home, but maybe we'll see in the next week. But other than that, pretty quiet. I think that's it for me.
Okay, thanks. After that, like, I would say I posted an update on important information about the release of Firefox 75 on the forum. I hope you all saw that. If not, please click on the link in the wiki and read that. The gap between Firefox 74 and Firefox 75 has been of 4 weeks. It's a pretty tight schedule, and we know that it could be affecting and overwhelming. So I just want to collect some feedback about that. How do you feel? If it's too close, if it's not, we want to give back feedback to the Firefox PMs. We want to know more about how do you feel about that, and so please comment on that. If you have any questions, I will be there to answer, obviously, and Roland will help me for sure. Yes, I also uploaded. This week was full of posts and updates. Me and Johnny have had a talk about how difficult sometimes is to get screenshots of product localized. Sometimes people don't want to update, contributors don't want to update their tools, but still want to contribute on new versions. We don't want people to always get screenshots on their own. So what Johnny proposed was to make like 2 different versions of screenshots to put in the knowledge base articles, so that contributors could use them without taking their own screenshots and basically using their own time to create that screenshots. I posted on the forum like a discussion on this. If you like any of the 2 examples that she gave, please give us some feedback on that. She put some effort on creating those, and I think it's also nice to see if you like them or not. She already started experimenting, also putting like, I think the first example is already live on one article, but yes, basically just look at them and give a feedback on that. It's really helpful for us. We are trying to get everyone's life easier, less overwhelmed, less overworked, let's say. On the support forum, there are other 2 updates. One is on the responsive redesign. It's going probably to get live on the 30th of March. We are really excited. Madalena and the team has done like an amazing job on that. So yeah, if you've seen the staging website, you can see how neat it looks, how cool is it. So we're really excited for everyone to be live, to be rolled out, for it to be rolled out. And like the last update, it's about after like talking with Philip and Alice on a post, we decided to retire some of the sections of the forum. Those sections were unused and were confusing for a lot of users that were coming there to ask questions, and those questions weren't answered because no one was looking in those forums. So it was like basically like a place that was not used. So we decided to retire them. If you have a contributor and a mod view, you still can see those sections in the menu on the left for moving the thread. We added a retire word in front of the name of the forums we retired. So no one should be confused by that option. In any case, if you find it confusing, I can file a bug and ask Tazos to remove those forums also from that menu. Unfortunately, it's not something I can do. So I have to ask, and it's gonna take a while, but if you find it confusing, please give feedback also on that, and I will raise the question with Tazos. I don't have any other points for today. I don't know, as always, like if you have questions, please reach out to me, please write me an email, Slack me, write me on Telegram, contact me everywhere you want. At some point I will answer. I will say that. I'm repeating myself, but also this week I want to say, please stay safe. Keep everyone you're connected with and you care close. It's the time that you have to be close to like the people you love and the people you care about. So I have all of you in my heart, and I would say have a good Wednesday night, morning, evening, and
Thursday
see
morning.
you in 2 weeks.
See you.
See
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Have a nice day, guys.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
everyone.
Thanks, Matt.